I've been enjoying my tax dollars as of late because the U.S. mail has been working hard for me. Hey everybody, it's me, Margaret. I'm a Mississippi native transplanted to Atlanta, Georgia, where I sheepishly share things I love with you. And today I love new stuff. I've been getting stuff in the mail. And we are going to start with an old familiar friend, and that is KnitCrate. Look, they've got their new boxes out. Isn't that pretty? And this may look like I have opened this without you, but as I promised, I will never do that. So you're going to be seeing a clip of me when I first got my first glance of this month's shipment, and you're going to get the same time. You're going to get your first glance while I'm getting my first glance. And does this make sense? I just got back from the post office and I got another KnitCrate, and look, their new boxes are in. Aren't that pretty? Aren't that? Is that what I said? Isn't that pretty? All right, ready? I've opened up the tape, but not the box. Dun da da. Oh. I think what holds people back a lot of time from subscribing to any sort of subscription box, whether it's yarn, sewing, food, beauty, whatever, I think it's the fact that you have to put out a pretty substantial sum of money up front and not know what it is you're going to get. So I talked about this with the KnitCrate people when we had this opportunity, and they pointed out that they do offer a lower price version, and they wanted to send it to us so that I could show you and see if this was something that would interest you as well. Now all this is on the website, but it's easy to overlook when you kind of get drawn in. You know, we're like kids in a candy store when it comes to yarn. So this is a really good thing for us to point out. But basically what you're getting is still very nice yarn under the KnitCrate brand, which is called Knitologie. And you don't get the little frills, like the little extra, maybe the bath bomb, or it might be a little treat, or you know, whatever. You don't get those little extra frills, but you still get to experience the surprise of a super quality yarn at a more reasonable price, I guess you could say. I don't think that the price for KnitCrate products are unreasonable for what you get. And you know that I feel that way because I'm always showing you, oh, here's the value. And the price point is always lower than the actual value. So you are getting, you know, a deal. But in this case, you don't have to put out as much up front. So this is their brand of yarn. And what it is, 60% merino, 20% nylon, and what is that? 20% alpaca. And it's light like alpaca. It really does feel good. And of course it's a fingering weight. But look at the gorgeous colors. This is 100 grams each. So beauteous, beauteous. There's no pattern with this kit. So this is one of the kits that costs a little bit less. So if you would like to get a surprise every month, you don't have to pay the top dollar. Okay, I'm going to fold back the bonus codes here and you can see what we got. Each of these skeins is $24, so this is a $48 value of these two skeins. And you don't get the pattern in this box, but then I've got on the back all the bonus codes that come with being a member of KnitCrate's. You've got 6 different coupon codes back here, and they range from 10% off to 50% off. So that's pretty good. But gosh, I really wish you could feel this. Really nice. It's very bouncy, very springy. You know how alpaca has that lightness to it? Well, you can feel it in here. Very nice. Knitologie by KnitCrate. See? But wait, there's more. This was also in my box, and I don't want to cut it if I don't have to, just for safety's sake. More color me fret. All right, this is the Knitologie socks. I accidentally popped my label off, but the quality is always something that you would find in your local yarn shop type stuff, not what you're going to find at a big box store or anything like that. I absolutely love this. Is superwash sock, which means you've got the superwash wool that you can wash in the washing machine, but you also have that 20% of nylon thrown in, and that gives you better wear and tear. So if you make a pair of socks out of this, you take the time to do it, then you have a little bit more peace of mind in knowing that the socks will wear better. The nylon also adds an element of softness too, I have found. But this is super, and this is, again, Knitologie, which is KnitCrate's own brand of yarn. And again, you get these same bonus codes on this side, and then you have this yarn, which is a retail value of $24. So this is a very affordable KnitCrate to get in your box every month. Very nice. And then here's what their charity is. This time they are looking for finger puppets or toys for the butterfly boxes. So there you go. I love you, KnitCrate. Now my computer is in the middle of some major update going on right now, and so I can't look up to see who does the dyeing and everything for Knitologie, but it specifically says on the label, all Knitologie yarns are exclusively hand dyed for KnitCrate. So do you see it's still high quality yarn? Of course, this being the 60% merino, 20% nylon, 20% alpaca fingering weight. And so that alpaca gives it that wonderful bounce that we love so much. And how do you not love the colors? And this appears pretty true. I think I'm figuring my camera out. Look how these soft color changes are happening right here, where it's going from this peony lavender color into the seafoam green. Isn't that beautiful? But you can see the colors. So, 2 skeins of that. 2 skeins of that. So you have plenty to experiment with, to create with. But I can't say enough nice things about this company, especially since I met the people that run it, that are running the show. And service is something that seems to be going out of style in this world today, so it's nice to know that you got a company that takes care of its people. I'm not paid to say that. They do give me these products, but I have the right to say if I am unhappy with anything or whatever. That's part of what a review is and what an online reviewer does. I'm 100% behind this company, so I hope that if you subscribe on my urging that you be as happy as I am with the products that I've received so far. But remember that you can get 20% off of your first order by using the code SHEEP20. Which all this information will be in the description box if you don't want to remember that, or write it down right now. So, what's next? Now this next thing in the mail came from QVC. This is a purse organizer, at least that's what it's designed for, but you know me, I'm going to look at it and say, oh, yarn bag organizer. But let's see where the information is. It's called, from QVC, Ready, Set, Go, set of 2 bag organizers by Lori Grenier. Is that how you say her name, or is that somebody I taught when I lived in Louisiana? Well, however you say her name. And you get 2 of them. All right, this is the black one that I haven't assigned a purpose for just yet. And I think black you have to be really careful with, because you don't want to put it down into something too deep, because you can't see very well with black. The sound that you hear right here is a bottom that you press down in the bottom of the bag, and that's what keeps it open, and that's what I really like about it. Now I'm using the other one in my current purse right now. Ta-da! It's right here, and it is this, I don't know what you call it, teal-y kind of color, blue-green. I can't get it out down there. Now, the beauty of these things, besides being easy to help you, find what you need in a bag, the beauty of them is that when you want to change purses or whatever, you just pick it up and put it in the new thing, right? And that's really what I like a lot about it. since I do change purses from time to time. And I put that color one in my purse because, and it's black lined too, by the way, so, but I put that one in my purse because my wallet is a similar color. So anyway, I thought you might like to see those because I got both of them for the grand total of $25.34 at a $5 shipping rate. So I mean, just for organizational purposes in whatever, this is an elastic thing too, so it stretches out, holds whatever that's nice, big and thick and easily pulls out. So I don't know, I just thought these were great. Now, are they anything new? The concept is not new. No, it's not. As a matter of fact, years ago I saw these things advertised as, it's like this long thing right here. And then you have these pockets sewn into the long thing where you can put, you know, stuff. I made several of them out of this really cute dog fabric ages ago and used it in my purse. You know, see, it can fit any purse because you just curve it around like that and sit it down, and you can put your stuff in the middle or all around or whatever. And I did use it for quite some time. I had two of them, and this one I ended up turning into a crochet hook holder at one time. I pulled it out and I just made more. Can you see the lines? I just made so many more individual lines throughout it and used it to hold crochet hooks. And it worked very well, as a matter of fact. Oh look, I even have something still in here. You know what it is? Straws. Why do I have straws in here, you might ask? Because it was a loom knit tool. I was doing a lot of loom knitting at that time. And you put your yarn through it and you can just do your E-wraps so fast around there. So I had everything I needed here. I forgot to take that out when I removed it. I don't store my crochet hooks in here anymore, but I still have this because I could also rip out these columns I made to recreate the bigger pockets that I had and use it again. Besides, the fabric is so darn cute. Then, after I had those, I saw these. I don't know where I got these, so I can't tell you any information like that, but it's basically the same principle as these others. It has a lot of inside pockets in here, and it's made of this vinyl, scratchy plastic nylon stuff, and it's very handy in that it has lots of pockets of different sizes in there, and it's still the same concept. You pull it out, but it's not stiff around the sides like this one was. And what would happen was it falls over in my, well, depending on what type of bag I have, I need to clarify that. If I have a flat bottom bag, it works great, but if it's in one of those other kind of bags, it might fall over or whatever. But they knew that, which is why they included these little closing things. It gathers it shut so that you don't go losing. See, it gets it more closed, and you don't go losing anything that you have in there, which is pretty handy dandy in itself. But I saw these and I went, oh, this is more along the lines of what I want in my purse. So I guess I need to get over my purse organizer obsession now. I seem to have all the bases covered. But seriously, this would make a really good insert inside your knitting bag, your crochet bag, whatever, because of all those teeny-tiny little things that we have to tote around and stuff. So, and then of course you also need things like lip balm or lotion, or you know, all those things that we like to carry around, have handy. Not too long ago, I participated in this thing called the Traveling Yarn Box, and I showed what I got and briefly explained how it works, but I think I didn't explain it clearly enough because several people were saying, how do I sign up for that? Well, these things are not something you sign up for per se. I mean, I guess it could be arranged that way, but generally the way it works is that somebody says, I'm going to start one, and then they'll invite, say, 10 people to participate in it. They load it full of a certain number of items, and then they mail it off to the next person. So that person opens it up, and they look inside, and which is fun just to see what's in there, and they look inside, and then they can keep whatever they want out of that box. And let's say that there's 12 items. It varies. You might take 3 items out. Well, you have to put 3 items back in, and you try to keep it at the equal monetary value. You know, you don't want to take out gold and put in scrap, right? That would not be kind. So you always make sure it's as pretty equal as you can make it. And then you wrap it up and you send it to the next person on the list. And it's really, really fun. I participated in one, and then I had the opportunity to participate in another one. And this one was hosted by Sonia, who is Katrinas Creations on YouTube and various things. And she made hers a crochet carousel box. And get it, carousel going around? Because it eventually makes it back to the person who started it, who gets to keep whatever items are there, all 12 of the items. So anyhow, to make a long story short, I rooted through that box, and I can't show you that the way it works. I can't open the box and say, oh, look at all the stuff that's in this box, because what if somebody who's a part of this particular box is watching this video? Then all the surprises would be ruined. So you can't show all of that. And you can't show what you put in either, because that would ruin the surprise for the next person, right? So I have these 2 things. One is a Knit Picks Felici, and we know that I love that kind of sock yarn. Erin introduced me to that. And this one is particularly bright and happy. It is called Darkside. I called it bright and happy. I called it bright and happy because it has all those rainbow colors in it. But I guess because it has some, I don't know, maybe because the colors are bold. I don't know. But anyway, it's called Darkside, but strangely it makes me happy. And then another thing I kept from there is something I've never actually worked with before, so I really wanted to give this a go. And that is Crochet Thread in this nice pretty red color. I also saw a sewing tutorial about gathering, where you put a piece of this down and you zigzag over it without actually touching it. You just encase it in the zigzags, and then you gather that way, and it's a little bit more secure than your typical thread gathering way. Sometimes your thread will break, and that might get, I don't know. I've never really had a problem gathering the original way, but I thought this looked interesting. Besides, I want to crochet with it. So thank you, Sonia, for that opportunity. That was really fun. And now I want to tell you about a surprise that I got in the mail that was absolutely the most heartwarming thing I have received in a long time from anybody. I got this envelope out of my P.O. box. It was a handwritten return address, which of course I'm not going to show you because that's not safe. And I thought to myself, oh, did I order something from Etsy and I forgot what it was? Because that's very common of me. And when I opened it up and read the letter that was with it, it was, no, these were gifts that were hand-picked for me by Nicole Cardella. Nicole is on our Facebook group. For those of you who are also there, you'll know her name from that. And she's been a subscriber for a while. And Nicole had actually pegged me in everything she sent. First of all, there's this wonderful lavender soap. And she's heard me say on numerous occasions how I love the smell of lavender. And that's what this is. And also this little crocheted soap sack that it goes in. A soap sack can be used for different things. You can literally put your soap in it and use it as, you know, like a washcloth or something, and it hangs up like this in your shower. But and then of course you can also use it like a soap rack or a soap dish to store your soap, because if you keep it from sitting in a puddle of, you know how soap does sometimes if you don't have a good draining soap dish, your soap will dissolve faster and it doesn't last as long. So a soap sack is a handy thing to have. But what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to open up my lavender soap and I'm going to put it in the soap sack, and it's going to be a sachet for my yarn closet right over there that you can't see. So every time I go in and smell this wonderful lavender soap, I'm going to be able to think of Nicole. Something else is in my purse. And this is what she went to shopping to get for me, because her mom had given her one. This is a little sheep measuring tape. Boop! you pull his tail. Isn't that cute? And she knew that I would love this, and she is very, very right. But I love it more than the fact that it's a cute measuring tape. I love it because its little face just makes me think of the effort that she went to get these gifts for me. But wait, before I go there, is that the place where she bought it is called 10,000 Villages, and it's one of these things. Well, here it says our mission. It's written on the back. We create opportunities for artisans in developing countries to earn income by bringing their products and stories to our markets through long-term fair trading relationships. And then it tells you about the artisan that made the product, and each one of these was a different person. Now, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I'm all about some fair trade. And fair trade, in definition, is when you contract with some people, usually in developing countries, and you promise to pay them a fair wage even if something doesn't work out. For example, coffee growers. You contract them to grow coffee for you, and then there might be some horrible weather devastation that just wipes their crop out or whatever. You have promised, and these big coffee companies can certainly do this, to provide for them anyway. They give them, they agree on a minimal amount so that they can be reimbursed for their seed and some labor, so that they can start again. Because already we're getting better prices when we go to these developing countries, but more importantly, we want them to support themselves and to continue to support. So if they've invested all that time and energy in a crop and then it gets completely blown away, some of them can't start again. And so these companies who are fair traders, they are helping to sustain these people in developing countries. And you might remember that I talked a while back, I think it was just last week, not a while back, but about how who we consider poor in the United States are really the top 14% of the richest people in the world. So this is making a difference in the lives of people who know poverty nothing like we know poverty. So wouldn't you say that with the lavender soap, the crocheted soap sack, the sheep measuring tape, and the fair trade providers, Nicole nailed it. I mean, it just has Margaret written all over it. Well, on top of that, she also sent the most beautiful letter, which contents I'm not going to be sharing with you because that's her private business. But she has recently experienced some great success in a difficult situation, and going to do this was actually out of her way. Not that she said it was, but I just feel like it probably was. And that little sheep will ride with me in the purse to remind me of her successes and to help me when I have a difficult thing that I'm going through, like making food choices with this diabetes. And it just warmed my heart. So I'm sending out special love to Nicole, special gratitude to Nicole for what she did in boosting my own spirits while I could celebrate her success with her, and it was just wonderful. So thank you, Nicole. And speaking of diabetes, look, you see my big bruise? They took all my bloods. We're going to check the A1C, but you know how they do. They make you wait 6 weeks before you find out the results because they want you to come sit down and talk about it. And they run another test too. But I showed you that elbow with the shot in it, but guess what? This elbow's feeling so much better. So I'm slowly getting back into my knitting and crochet, and I do have a little bit to show. I just got back from my annual girls trip of there's 7 of us that are dear friends from college. We get together every year no matter what. And so I didn't have much time to be doing any kind of crafting. But do you remember last spring, I got off on this big to-do about sensory items. The weighted blanket. These would be for anybody with sensory issues, which would be ADD, ADHD, autism, older people, say with dementia setting in or whatever. And we talked about this at length, but wait.
I rambled on forever about this, and I'm so passionate about it that I decided to save all this for another separate video, complete with links and patterns and important things to consider. What set me off are these ridiculous fidget spinners we're hearing so much about these days, which are actually doing the opposite of what they were originally designed to do, not to mention some other risky problems they're presenting. So here's a sneak peek of some of the early designs that are rattling around in my head.
Same principle, but I'm thinking to myself, what could we make that actually aligns with all these restrictions I'm devising in my head here? And so I thought about something like this. Now this is just a simple crocheted cuff with some beads on it. And so the child would put it on like this. It could be covered. You could do it in a very, quiet color. You don't want anything too loud and distracting because it distracts your neighbors. The bead is encased in the crochet process so it doesn't easily come off, but don't fool yourself into thinking it won't come off, because these kids, it's almost like a goal. It's not necessarily on purpose, but they will pull these things off. So this is not good for everyone if they have a tendency to put things in their mouth. But anyway, it is good for some. And then I put this little loose one here with the beads that will move. I'm still not comfortable with it. I feel like I still have to think about a few more things. Here's another one. I made this look like a road, and I put little cars on it. Now you can't move the cars, but I'm going to make one where you can. But I have one, the blue is on this side, the red is on this side, and then I found these buttons where you have like they're racing, and just put that there. And then I put some buttons here that are thinking, like a stoplight, red, yellow, and green. I'm on to something, but I'm still working on it. I also did an Addi version, but I never finished it. I used the Addi, and I actually knit the buttons right into the project. I have waist yarn on here, and I didn't finish it because I did it too narrow. I need to make it wider. But some things I want you to consider.
Now here I don my teacher hat and start listing some very important things to consider when making any item that could fall into this sensory category. While I have some special ed background because I was trying to double major but I ran out of time, and I have first-hand knowledge of parenting a child with sensory needs, I also called a young special ed teacher friend of mine to get the current views, especially regarding the very wide autism spectrum. Let me corral these thoughts in a more organized fashion and plop them in a video all to themselves. That way, those who are not interested in making things like this can skip this topic and move on to something else.
But in the meantime, that's where my head is. And it's also a small, quick project that doesn't hurt my elbow. So I'm easing back into things as we speak. Oh, I forgot my sock. I'm also working on my sock. I work on it, do a few rows at a time. So I'm going to finish that second sock here shortly, but I just don't want to overuse that elbow just yet.
Hi, my name is Katrina, and I have a YouTube channel called Katrinas Creations Knitting Podcast. I've watched Margaret for quite a few years now and enjoy her episodes. I'm primarily a knitter. I also spin, weave, and sew, and I'm learning how to do crochet and Tunisian crochet. I like to make shawls the best. That's my favorite. So I thought I would share a few with you. This is my first attempt at Tunisian crochet. And I actually developed tendinitis doing this and had to have a cortisone shot. So I haven't tried it since, but maybe in the future. This is a lace weight shawl that I've made. It is called a Faroese shawl because of the center panel of lace that runs down through the center. That style was developed on the Faroe Islands. The next shawl is a shawl that I actually designed, and it is available on Ravelry. It's called Banner Unfurled, and it has some beads. And then the shawl that I'm currently working on is a design by Andrea Mowry and it's called Find Your Fade. And it's a very long shawl. You actually wear it sideways. So it is currently about 6 feet long, and I'm not finished yet. So here is the beginning, and it keeps going and going and going. And I have one more color, like a seafoam color, to go on the end here yet. So that's the project that I'm currently working on. And thank you for the opportunity to show my shawls off. Thanks.
Hi Margaret, let's see, I'm Kevin. Let's see, what am I knitting at the moment? I'm knitting quite a few things. I've always got a few things going, but this is one of them. I'm knitting it for a friend. I've been doing it for seems ages, but it's a cardigan. I've knitted the pattern before. It's my own pattern which I put together. They're the pockets, pocket top used to be folded over and the pockets just there. I've knitted it before. I've knitted it I think about 5 times so far, and I keep changing the pattern around a little bit, so I keep meaning to write it up. I've got it in my head and I've got it on bits of paper and on the laptop and everything else, but not really sat down and really written it up, not yet. So I need to do that at some point, and this time I think I needed to tweak it from the last version I made because it didn't seem right. It was something that wasn't quite right with it. And then I'm knitting a shawl. I don't think the laptop or the camera will pick the colours up that good. It is done in paint box. I love knitting paint box yarn, and I'm doing it in several colours. I'm working from a red through to a yellow, I think it is, and it's the pattern is on, it's a free pattern. It's called the Ridge Shawl, I think, and you start out from the widest point and you go to the narrowest point, and you do a 1 by 1 rib. And if you don't like ribbing, 1 by 1 rib, when you've done 525 stitches, you're not going to like it after you've done that. But that's what I've got working at the moment, which I can pull out to show you. I do have some other stuff which I've started, but I've left it for so long I probably need to take it all off and restart it. I'm looking forward to this month KnitCrate surprise, although I don't know if you did see, they did send a sneak peek video, not video, but an email out of the colours, and I don't know if they are going to be the colours they are sending, but I'm looking forward to that. Maybe you've already got yours, but I tend to get mine middle of the month or sometimes a little bit later. Love your channel, Margaret. No matter what, if it's sewing, knitting, crochet or whatever you do, you've got a fantastic channel. I love you so much. Take care, have a good day, bye.
Hi Margaret and all my crafty friends. I'm Amber and I am KnitCrate's on YouTube, and I just thought I would sheepishly share with all of y'all what I like to do and what my current projects are. So here we go. One thing that I like to do is art and mixed media. So done that, done that. These are just a few of my pieces that I've done, and then I like to write, and I have all these notebooks. This one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and these two. And that's something I like to do as well. And each of them has a different purpose, because I like to do all different kinds of stuff and keep up with stuff. I like to do crochet. I don't knit. I do crochet though. And I've crocheted all of these squares. No idea what I'm going to do with them. Some are smaller, some are bigger. No idea what I'm going to do with them. And I crocheted all these pads, little bitty pads. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but yeah, they were fun to do. And I'm working on a scrap afghan. It's just something I put all my scraps on. And it's all wonky because I wasn't holding it up enough. It's all wonky because it's been folded up in my bag. And this is an infinity scarf, a long one. Not too long and not real thick because it's living in the South in Georgia. It's not real cold. I mean, it gets cold. And this is my bag that I keep a lot of stuff in. It's so cute. My friend got it for me. My current projects are a hat that I'm doing for my dad I'm doing that out of charcoal. And yeah, that's me. Happy crafting and crocheting and knitting and whatever you do. Have fun. God bless.
Okay, so here are the people who have submitted videos. I've added Katrina, Kevin, and Amber to the bottom, but I'm not going to do a drawing right now. I'm going to leave our giveaway open one more week for you to get your videos in, and I will then pull 2 more winners, and we have 2 more of these crochet kits, one blue and one of that red pink color. I'm not sure what you call it. But if you don't want to enter, or if you don't win, this is still a fantastic price for this kit, and the quality of the kit is very good. I really, really like these hooks that it comes with. I also really, really like this case. I think that's my favorite part. And then you had all the accoutrements that came along with it as well. So for $19.99, that's a pretty good deal. I'm going to put the link to this in the description box below in case that's something you want to get for yourself or maybe a gift.
If you want to send your video, remember I'll link in the description box below the particulars for following that. Come visiting on my channel to be entered in the giveaway for these, the last 2 prizes. So we'll give you another week to think about what you want to say and put it up there for your 2-minute video. Then we'll pull those. But for now, thanks for stopping by, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.